thought the first round of the NBA playoffs were exceptional, for the most part. We had 2 series go 7 games, with both coming down to last-second plays to end the games. Most all the major stars still in the playoffs. We went over 4 months without sports. People supposedly were starving for the NBA to return. So the league should be in great shape, right? I mean, this should be a high point for the NBA. Yet, it's not. Actually, the playoffs from a ratings standpoint have been nothing short of a disaster. It doesn't matter how great the NBA playoffs have been thus far, because you guys aren't watching it. For the most part, you guys aren't watching it. The ratings for the first round were down 27%. That's in addition to the nearly 40% drop since the 2017-18 postseason. The NBA is going through a hell right now that they created themselves. Adam Silver is screwed because he has created a situation where he is stuck in the middle between what his players want and what his fans want. Fans are clearly turned off by this infusion of social justice and politics into the NBA. If you don't believe me, just look at the television ratings, or check out what I'm about to tell you. There was a survey released last week. It was the most extensive data research ever compiled in America. Over 225,000 surveys were analyzed, matched up with over 200 million people, basically 2/3 of the population. The data showed that between 87 and 92% of Americans don't want corporations or athletes preaching woke politics. I have been saying for weeks now that the NBA was alienating a portion of their fan base. Turns out, I was wrong. The NBA is alienating damn near their entire audience. It's just bad business. It makes no sense from a business perspective what the NBA is doing right now. Imagine if you own a business. You hire a marketing firm. They make their little presentation to you, and they tell you that their strategy for your business is to target 8 to 10% of the population. But they're also going to ignore and piss off the other 90%. If that were the case, you would fire that marketing firm on the spot. And that is essentially what the NBA is doing right now. The sports media, they're not helping. I swear, the sports media, they are completely useless today. It has turned into a propaganda machine. Steve Nash was hired as the new head coach of the Brooklyn Nets late in the week last week. He was a fan favorite his entire career. He was, and he still is, highly respected in NBA circles. He's even woke. He's been vocal in his support in this social, racial justice path that the NBA has taken the past couple of months. But see, that doesn't matter. None of that matters because Steve Nash is the wrong color. He's white. It doesn't matter that he's one of the best point guards in the history of the NBA. It doesn't matter that he's a 2-time MVP. It doesn't matter that he was a consultant for the Golden State Warriors during their dynasty. His first season in the Bay Area, the Warriors won 73 games, breaking Michael Jordan and the Bulls' record for most wins in the regular season. But none of that matters. None of Steve Nash's qualifications matter. Not to Stephen A. Smith anyway, an NBA analyst who I happen to have a lot of respect for, but I completely disagree with his assessment on the Nets' hiring of Steve Nash. Stephen A. Smith believes that Steve Nash only got this job because of his white privilege. It's kind of weird, and the argument is completely baseless, considering the fact that the owner of the Brooklyn Nets is a minority. He ain't a white guy. He's Taiwanese Canadian. He goes by the name Joseph Tsai, but his birth name was Tsai Chung. Now, someone please explain to me how a Taiwanese guy hiring Steve Nash amounts to white privilege. Perhaps he hired him because he was qualified. And he already has a relationship with Kevin Durant since they won a championship together in Golden State. I mean, Stephen A. Smith saying this is because of white privilege is unbelievable. And you watch what I tell you. If David Griffin hires a guy like, I don't know, Kenny Atkinson in New Orleans, the sports media, the Stephen A's of the world, they are going to pull the race card again. They are going to say that the Pelicans fired Alvin Gentry because he's black, and Kenny Atkinson or whoever they hire got the job because of white privilege. Look, I like Alvin Gentry. I don't like him as the coach of my team, but Alvin Gentry is one of the good guys in the NBA. No one has a negative thing to say about him. But the Pelicans fired Alvin Gentry because he was 175 and 225 in 5 years with one playoff appearance. Now you tell me, what coach wouldn't get fired with a record like that? All this wokeness in the sports media is also tanking their television ratings. Back in June, 2-3 months ago, ESPN hit a 41-year ratings low as a network. First Take, Stephen A. Smith's show, was ESPN's highest rated show during the month of June, averaging a whopping 211,000 viewers, barely cracking the top 100 in the cable ratings. In other words, no one's watching. And the ratings decline has continued since the NBA restart. And another thing about the sports media, the condescending media wants to act like we as fans, we are wrong for expecting our NBA players to, play basketball. The media wants to act like fans are wrong for being turned off at the infusion of politics into sports. The NBA is promoting something bigger than basketball. That's what they'll tell you. We expect NBA players to play basketball because our entire lives, NBA players have played basketball. That's what they do. Sports have never been as political as they are right now. When I go to a Chick-fil-A, I expect them to serve chicken, not spaghetti. If I get to the drive-thru window and they give me spaghetti, I'm going to be pissed off. When I'm watching Ozark, I'm watching it with the understanding that I'm not going to be bombarded with political propaganda. If in the middle of a scene, Jason Bateman suddenly breaks character and goes to tell me to register to vote, or he promoted some other political cause, I would be utterly confused. But that is exactly what happened the other night in the NBA. Fourth quarter, Game 7, Jazz Nuggets. It's on ABC. During the middle of a play in a tight game, the play-by-play man asked, "When are we going to see justice for Breonna Taylor?" "Oh, still by Donovan Mitchell. But when are we going to see justice for Breonna Taylor?" Look, what happened to Breonna Taylor was bad. It was terrible. I think most people can agree with that. But clearly, the majority of NBA fans don't want to hear about it in the middle of a playoff game. Like I've said from the beginning, I don't think people have a problem with the message. Now, that doesn't mean they agree with it. They might disagree with it. But I don't think the majority of people have a problem with the NBA or its players believing what they want to believe. People have a problem with them using the NBA as a platform to promote it and being repeatedly beaten over the head with it. So the media is not helping the NBA right now. They're actually hurting it, but so is their biggest star. For the past 16, 17 years, LeBron James has been the biggest draw in the NBA. Many people blamed the ratings decline in the playoffs last year on the fact that LeBron wasn't involved. But LeBron James has become one of the main reasons that people are tuning out of the NBA. He's become the leader of this social justice movement that the NBA has embraced. And the result? Game 5 between the Blazers and the Lakers last weekend was watched by 1 million less people than a NASCAR race. Yes, the NBA went head-to-head with NASCAR and got the hell beat out of them. And I think the NBA is coming to the realization that they've actually alienated their audience. There were a couple of incidents in the past week or so that involved cops shooting African Americans. Now, I don't know the details of it. I don't watch a lot of the news, but what I do know is I didn't hear much, if anything at all, about it from NBA players. So maybe they are waking up to the fact that people tune in to watch them do what they do best, play basketball, not talk politics. When I uploaded my video on this topic a week or so ago, the majority of the comments that I got were people agreeing with me, but I had one young woman tell me that I needed to stay in my lane, which is fine. She's entitled to her opinion. But I find it kind of ironic that she said that because fans are sending that exact message to professional athletes right now. By tuning out by the millions, they're telling the NBA that when we tune into NBA playoff games, we expect to see the best basketball in the world, not political messages. All right, that's all for today. Hit that like and subscribe button. Click the notification bell to receive all updates from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. Can the NBA eventually bounce back? Can they regain some of the fans that they've lost the past couple of months? Also, let me know your thoughts about the league embracing social justice. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Have any questions, a topic you'd like me to discuss? You can email me at BTLKC84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys next time.